Hi everybody, welcome back to Narc Shield. My name is Jennifer and I am taking some time out today to try to get some videos done. I'm going to start with this one. I don't really like to plan them too much. I know some other channels, they're like all, organized and add all kinds of things to their videos, and I haven't learned how to do all of that kind of stuff yet, and it takes time, and so I totally respect those channels and do watch them, and hopefully at some point I will be able to do some of the same things. I wanted to do a video, or it's probably going to be more than one video because it is going to probably take a little bit to talk about. But I wanted to do a video for quite some time on the case of Chris and Shanann Watts. W-A-T-T-S. If you have not heard of them, I don't know how you wouldn't, but if you haven't, that is a case where Chris Watts killed his wife, Shanann Watts, and their 3 children. She was pregnant with 1 and 2, Bella and Cece. I believe, I forget how old they were, but they were very young children. And he killed them and she was pregnant with 1. And I want to say when he killed her, she may have been giving birth a little bit to their son due to that. But I wanted to talk about it for quite some time. I might have mentioned it in a video or two, mentioned him, but I don't know that I've really ever done like a video on them. And many people have done them, and I have watched so many documentaries on this over the past, for me, the past year. I know this happened 2 years ago in August. August the 15th, I believe, is the day that he killed his family in Colorado. They both are from my home state, North Carolina, or at least lived here in my home state of North Carolina before they went off to Colorado, and this is where their families live, not too far away from where I'm at. And so I didn't know much about this, and my daughter told me about it about a year ago, and she was like, "Mom, you need to watch this. I know it's something that you would be very interested in," because I talk about narcissistic personality disorder, but I really actually talk about narcissistic abuse. And so the relationships that happen when there's narcissistic abuse involved in romantic relationships or any type of relationship that you could have with anybody. And so she had me watch some documentary, I believe it was like on Hulu or something, and I was completely fascinated. I cried a lot in the beginning, and I had to take a break from it. And so every now and again, I would come back to it. It was very disturbing for me, but I also think I was triggered by it. And so that was about a year ago. And so over the course of time, I've watched a lot more, and especially here lately. And so I pretty much watched everything and read everything I possibly could. And then I started, being that I'm on YouTube, I started watching things, started watching other people on YouTube here as of late. And there have been some channels that I've watched more than others that I thought they did a really good job in giving information. And even though most of the information I had heard or read about before, I really liked how some of these people really took the time to really investigate on their own as well. And so I did learn some things that I didn't know from watching them. So one of the places that I in the last week or two have really been paying attention to, I think I'm going to go ahead and put her channel in my description. So I think if you are interested in this case, I think it's a great channel, and you should totally go to her page. And if you are interested and want to learn about it, or you never have and are interested, she has it all there. So I will put her link in the description box, and I hope that you will go and check out her channel, because I definitely did check hers out a lot, other than reading about it and all the documentaries that I watched. So Chris Watts, I found him quite interesting and the relationship that he had with his wife Shanann, and he had an affair on her with someone called Nicole Kessinger, and him and Nicole Kessinger worked together. And what made me want to do a video really on this was I felt this was what I describe in my channel, which is narcissistic abuse. And I am not a psychiatrist, psychologist. I say this all the time in my videos. I cannot diagnose anybody, but I can see traits. And so this is a relationship, even though it went to the extreme and murder happened, this is how you see things kind of play out in a narcissistic relationship. And they're all different but similar in so many ways. So this would be the romantic type relationship. I am going to bring in and talk about Chriswatts' mom a little bit. I really don't like, I feel I don't know these people, and so I'm only going by what I know in the media. And so these are my opinions and things that I notice, and I am not trying to be mean to anyone, but I am noticing certain things, and because I want to bring awareness, I'm going to bring them up, and I'm sorry if I hurt anybody's feelings. So Chriswatts and Nicole Kessinger had an inappropriate relationship. He was married and he had 2 children and a child on the way. And he, to everybody else, you know, it seemed like they had the perfect life. And Shanann was someone who was very driven. She was very much into social media. She knew how to work social media. She did put herself out there because she wanted to connect with people. But as you people know who are in social media, we all know that that's the quickest way to get a audience base for business that you may have, and it is also an inexpensive way to do it. It's just the quickest way to do it. And she was really smart, and she would get on there and she shared a lot on social media. I love social media in certain ways, and I love to post things, and I like to save things and share things with my family because my family's kind of all over. And she shared so much of her life that she really was opening up herself to everyone. And so that's going to come into play with what I talk about as well. It is amazing. I'm so glad she did, because I have gotten a chance to know Shanann without even meeting Shanann. And I think that she was a very vibrant, very energetic, wonderful, happy-go-lucky. She really did try to be positive even when negative things were happening in her life. And she was someone who was career and goal-oriented and a very excellent mother, daughter, wife, just incredible. And she describes how she met her husband, Chriswatts. So when you're in a narcissistic abusive relationship, this is first of all, everybody, this is definitely going to be in parts. So I hope that you will follow me along as I talk about this and try to explain things in the video, but in the videos anyway. And if you haven't subscribed, I hope that you will, and hit the bell so that you'll get the alert for when the other videos come through, and then you can just click on them and watch them whenever you want to. And if you like them, please like them, because then they'll share throughout YouTube. So Chriswatts, somebody wanted to introduce Shanann to Chris, and she wasn't really in a good place in her life at that time. And so she kind of blew it off and was like, no. And then later, Chriswatts friended her on Facebook. And so she was like, you know, I'll probably never meet this guy anyway. She was going through some things. She had some health issues that were going on with her. But she decided, maybe because she was in a low part of her life and she wanted to feel good, you know, let's see what's up with this guy. And so she starts talking to him, and quickly they start having this romance. Now, I did notice that in an interview with Chris's mom, she did say that they took it slow. So maybe they did, but it didn't seem like it to me. It seemed like it was kind of fast and furious, but not as fast and furious as his romance with Nicole Kessinger. But nonetheless, they had this relationship. They got married and they had this wonderful life together. They were very happy. They looked like the perfect couple. He being good looking, she was a beautiful woman. They both had hopes and dreams, and it appeared that they wanted the same things in life. And so they just seemed very much in love. Now, Chris Watts' family, I'm going to say mother because I can't really speak about the family so much because I've really only heard the mother, did not approve of his relationship with Shanann. And they felt that she was more controlling and trying to take him away from them, and especially when they decided to go and move to Colorado, which many people decided about the time that they were moving there to move to Colorado, and they decided to have a life there. And he was in on that decision too, but I think that the mom and maybe family felt like he would not have done something like that if it wouldn't have been for her, and that she was pulling that train. I don't know what he was saying to them, but his mom did say that she didn't like a lot of the things that Shanann would say about her son. And I heard her in an interview say a few things like, he looks like a skater, or I don't know. She felt like that Shanann was always putting her son down. But what I could see from Shanann in her videos that she posted all the time on social media is that she adored him. She just adored this man. And so there's conflicting stories there. I'm seeing the story of Shanann on social media. People can be fake on social media to some degree, but she had videos and he was in them and the children were in them, and she shared a lot, and it did not seem fake to me. So I felt that maybe his mother perceived these things as criticisms. And this is where I'm going to start kind of bringing in some things about narcissistic traits. And I cannot diagnose Chriswatts' mother with narcissistic personality disorder, but what I can say is that she may have been having reservations and getting with Shanann because she may have been getting narcissistic blows. She felt like that it was a criticism, so it would be a narcissistic criticism, and where she would go into immediately questioning Shanann, devaluing Shanann, and not liking her. And also she may have felt like Shanann was now taking control over Chris, where she once was able to control Chris in things that he did in life and persuade him in certain ways. And so she wasn't feeling very comfortable with Shanann. And that's how I see it. In the videos that I have seen with Chriswatts' mom, I don't think she recognizes when she's doing this, but she seems to have malice still for Shanann, even in Shanann's death. She definitely had it when Shanann was alive. But it's the way, her facial expressions, the way she carries herself, and the things that she says. And they seem quite genuine when she's saying things that are devaluing towards Shanann. And when she tries to say something nice, it doesn't come across real. It seems like she's faking that just to, I hate to say this, but to get attention. And I think it's because she's gotten attention that's bad, And so I guess this video is starting to go with Chriswatts' mom, so we're just going to kind of go with the flow here. From what I can understand, she got in that family because of social media, and social media can be cruel. And you can be judged, and people were blaming her. Look what you raised. A lot of people, anyway, were blaming her, and like, what kind of kid did you raise there, in Chriswatts, and what did you do as a parent, and to make him turn into some psychopath that would murder his entire family and have this other life, and pretend the way that he did. I don't think that's a nice thing to do, but I do understand in trying to figure out why people become who they are. And a lot of who we are does come from our childhood and the way we were raised and the environments that we were brought up in. And also it could be some, things that happened to us in life, like a traumatic event or something like that. So I understand why people, are curious about that. I'm certainly curious about it because, I talk about narcissistic abuse, narcissistic relationships. And so she appears to really be taking that at heart. And it's not so much about her son, it's about her. She wrote a book and she wanted to tell her story. And she keeps saying she wants the truth. I want to know the truth. I just want Chris to tell me the truth. I want to know the truth. She's not able to, maybe now she is, but from what I have seen, wasn't able to accept the truth, even when she wrote her book, that her son could do something like this. And narcissistic people, they see their children as extensions of themselves. And so if you are criticizing him, you're essentially criticizing her. And she has taken offense to it so much that she even said, I wanted him to fight this. I would have fought it tooth and nail. I would have gone to court. I would have, done everything I could to clear my name if I didn't do it. So I don't understand why he's admitting to something that he didn't do. And she's really upset that people are essentially blaming her, which I understand that it's not her. Chris made the decision to kill, his family. But again, she appears, in my opinion, to be taking it as a personal criticism, which would be a narcissistic trait. And she cries and she says, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to handle this. I don't know how do I get through this? And she goes on and on and on about herself, but I don't hear her saying, I don't know how my son's going to get through this. I don't know how Shanann's family is going to get through this. I don't know how my husband and my daughter and the rest of my family and our friends are going to get through this. It's about her. Everything is about her. Always. It's okay if she wanted to say things about herself and how she feels, but it's constantly surrounding her and how she was left out and how she felt like if she could have just talked to Chris, she could have convinced him to go about things differently when it came to his court case, and how she didn't like how people handled his court case, and how if it wasn't for Shanann, her son wouldn't have felt a certain ways and wouldn't have done what he did. She makes constant excuses for him, and it's as if it's her, almost like Chris is her and she is defending her. And he is her son, and I understand wanting to defend him, but when you listen to her, she's defending really herself the whole time. And even when with her book and stuff. And so I'll talk about some of that as well in another video. But I wanted to start this video out, and I'm going to go ahead and end this and go into the next one. So I hope that you will follow me on to part 2 as I describe this case between Chriswatts and Nicole Kessinger, their relationship, and the fact that he killed his entire family to be with this other woman. And I will be talking about his mother and the narcissistic traits and the narcissistic relationship that I noticed. And we'll see what you think too. Okay, until the next video, part 2 is coming up. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.